Hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. This is Jeff Outdoors. Tonight I am talking about something we all love, well, most of us, uh, and probably something that we drink every day. And that is coffee. And I'm going to show you what coffee looks like before it's roasted. I tend to look over this way, but you're right there. So, how's it going? Anyways, excuse my lighting. I'm not in a high tech facility here, just at my house, and that's how it goes. So, yeah. So, anyways, coffee. These are unroasted coffee beans. This is what coffee looks like before it is put into a coffee roaster and turned into the brown bean that we all know and that we all love. Coffee comes from different areas of the world, of course. This is Brazilian. This is a Brazilian coffee. This is from kind of a renowned coffee farm in Brazil. I get this from an importer, and a couple of things to know about coffee. So the beans are processed differently around the world. Every farm does it differently. Every region in a country may do it differently. They may have cooperatives that have certain standards of growing and processing. There's wet processing, dry processing, natural processing, honey processing, different types. So the way as a roaster, as me being a home roaster, the way I look at it is it going to give off a lot of chaff during the roasting process, or is it going to be a lighter chaff? The lightest chaff to almost zero chaff would be an Indian Monsoon Malabar, which is a coffee in India that gets exposed to the monsoon rains. It's really kind of a white bean. It's an interesting bean. It's one of my favorites, and it presents a like spice to it when you roast it and then grind it and brew it. It almost has like this really interesting spice to it. I just love it. It's great for blending, but straight by itself too. But these are a South American bean, and these are a natural processed. So what that means is essentially they get raked out onto a mat to kind of just ferment and dry on their own. There's really not much in the way of getting involved by the farmer on what that bean, they're not manipulating the drying process. Because these get picked off of a bush, like a bush, tree, whatever you want to call it. And then they have to be processed. And some with the washing process, as opposed to the dry process, washing is something that is done to um, uh, essentially you're trying to manipulate the moisture content in the bean. So that's part of it. And that's a whole whirlwind of information that you would have to read a book on. I try to stay informed about it simply because I roast my own coffee. I want to know what kind of roast levels I'm going to be doing, heat and temperature and time and everything goes into that. So that is one thing. But most essentially tonight on this video, what I wanted to do is just kind of try to wrap your head around the fact that my home roasted coffee that I would roast, say I roasted coffee right now. It's currently about 9 o'clock at night. If I roasted this coffee right now, woke up tomorrow morning and ground it up and brewed it, this would be better coffee than you would find at any coffee chain, drive-through coffee place, whatever you want to call them. This would be better than any of them. I would put it up against any big-time brand name coffee company out there, period. Fresh roasted coffee is the absolutely only way to go. Now, in periods in the past when maybe I didn't get to roasting or whatever, and I did go to the store and bought a bag of coffee, and, that coffee's been sitting there 6 months for a year, you don't know. Coffee's like fresh baked bread. After a few days, maybe a week, for coffee beans, they're starting to go stale. That's just how it is. So equate coffee beans with bread. That's your best way to go. And again, I would put this up against, but the coffee that I did go back to the store for made me feel tired and sluggish, no energy, and literally I would be so tired drinking that crap that I would rather just not even drink it. I'd rather just get up and have like an iced tea or something, and that's, it's no good. So I try to stay on top of my roasting, and when I drink this, I have 2 or 3 cups of this in the morning. I don't need coffee for the rest of the day. I don't need it. This has all the antioxidants and the caffeine levels that you want to get out of the coffee that you need. You don't have to drink coffee all day. There's people that drink coffee all day, or they'll have you'll go to 5 trips to Starbucks or whatever. 2 or 3 cups of this in the morning, fresh roasted coffee in the morning. That's it. It's going to carry you the rest of the day. It's absolutely fantastic. And I'll be roasting coffee until I can't roast coffee anymore. But the different kinds of beans have different kinds of roast levels as far as time and temperature, things like that. So just to get back to what I was talking about. This is a soft bean. This is high altitude, mid to high altitude in Brazil, and requires lower temperatures than, say, an African bean that's really hard, that was grown in high altitude dry. So think dry, hard beans opposed to South America, lots of rain, soft beans. That's kind of how you look at it. And then you have the Central Americans like the Guatemalans. They're kind of in between. Guatemalan coffee is absolutely my number 1 favorite. You roast that at medium dark, a Guatemala Antigua coffee bean, you can't beat it. Period. That's my number 1 go-to. It's bold, it's bright, it's full, it's bursting with this acidity and like a peanutty chocolate thing going on, and it is just, the Guatemalan coffee is absolutely amazing. Hands down. Fresh roasted, that is. You start getting into that coffee off the shelf at the grocery store, then it's not the best coffee. The best coffee was the coffee that was roasted yesterday. Period. So that's it. So the other thing I wanted to kind of raise is the fact that here in the United States, and if you're new to the channel, if you're watching along, whatever, I'm in Ohio. I'm in Amish country here in Ohio, and we actually do have somebody who's roasting down the road that does roast pretty well. So they tend to be my go-to in periods when I'm not roasting my own coffee. I'm going to take a sip. So, the coffee that you are, again, roasting at home is going to be better than anything out there. So, but stepping back 5 seconds, another thing I wanted to talk about is organic coffee. We don't grow coffee in the lower 48 states here in the U.S. All coffee is imported. What happens to plants, plant products, things off of a farm, say in South America, that are imported into the United States? What happens? It gets fumigated. Organic coffee in the United States, it gets fumigated. You make the decision. To me, that's not organic. But people are selling organic coffee at really expensive prices. And to be quite honest, as a roaster myself, the organic coffee that I have roasted, which I've roasted many in the past, you can buy organic Sumatrans, organic Colombians. The organic coffees I've roasted have not been good. None of them. I don't buy organic, ever. Nope. Conventional, what we would call conventional, with conventional like pesticides and whatnot, that coffee is better. And there's a reason why they use pesticides on the coffee beans, on the coffee plants, right? So the pesticides aren't being sprayed onto this bean. This is a seed inside of a red coffee cherry that, okay, you have an absorption rate once you get through the coffee cherry that may impact this actual bean. I get that. I get it. You don't have to get all up in arms or anything like that. I get it. I get it. So, but my point is the conventional coffee is from a coffee farm, is light years better than any organic I've ever roasted, fresh roasted, and drank. Period. So that's up for you to decide on what you want to spend your money on. If I were you, I would find a coffee roaster near you who is roasting fresh, or do like I did. I've actually built my own coffee roasters in the past. Your biggest thing is a heat source, but I have a stainless steel perforated drum that I use over propane heat. I could use it over a fire if I wanted to, things like that. But there's ways to figure it out, believe me. I've been down the road of coffee roasting like you wouldn't believe. I've tried to use sterno cans in the past. When I first started roasting, I tried everything in the book to get a good, solid roast, uniform, looking for uniformity, all that stuff. I've been down that road, man. If you have any questions on that, or if you need some guidance, let me know, because I have used every heat source in the book. It's insane. But I do have a proper coffee roaster these days, but I still do have my manual roaster, stainless steel drum that I will use. So yeah, it's up to you. If you want to look at the studies on coffee, coffee's good for you, antioxidants, things like that. That research is based off of coffee that was probably the store stuff that you buy down at the grocery store. It's 6 months to a year old. Okay, so if the studies say that's good for you, what about fresh roast? Any studies on that? Not that I'm aware of. Not one. I'm going to tell you, 2 or 3 cups of coffee of this in the morning, you're done. You don't need coffee for the rest of the day. Don't be like the guys out there that are sucking down 4 gallons of coffee just to get through the workday or their personal life. Sucking down coffee. Long time ago, I was that guy. Drink a pot of coffee. Not a problem. Tired as hell. Yep, tired as hell. Need more coffee, right? No. Fresh roast? Done. Done. I'll never go back. I'll be roasting this till I can't roast anymore. And that's just how it's going to be. So if you're on a coffee journey and you need any guidance, let me know. I think I have a lot. Again, I could talk about this for hours, to be quite honest. I'm keeping this around 15 minutes. Right now I'm roasting this Brazilian. I do have Guatemalan in stock that I am doing. And I do kind of a blend with another couple beans. I have a couple special blends that I do involving a special Ethiopian bean with some Central Americans and South Americans, things like that. So you can come up with your own blends, which I've done for family members in the past and some friends. I've roasted for them. So it's pretty cool. And it creates a nice little thing, which is it's pretty rewarding, So with that being said, think about it. Organic coffee in the United States, you decide. Conventional, home roasting, only way to go, in my opinion. And I think you would agree if you were 5 years in on roasting. So thank you for tuning in. We'd love to see you like and subscribe. Going to be more videos. We're getting into winter, so we're going to be doing more stuff inside. Pop out when we can, weather permitting, and see what's going on. But cheers for now. You have a great weekend. I hope your Thanksgiving was great. Giddy up.